Okay, Assignment 8, the Bouncy Ball class. This assignment is going to be different from what you're used to. I'm only concerned with whether or not you can actually create a class. I don't want a main method. I am not concerned if you can create and use an object, because you've been doing that for quite some time with Scanner and a little bit with ArrayList from class 7. That being said, this assignment is about specifically creating a class that will represent a bouncy ball. The name of the class must be Bouncy Ball in this format. Remember, we use capital case when we're creating class names. That is what it should be. Don't let it be anything else. The class must have 3 characteristics: a color, which can be a string, a diameter of the ball, which is a double, and the number of times bounced, which is an integer. You must have get methods that return the values of your instance variables. Okay? You should not have set methods in this instance. Okay? No set methods. More often than not, when you go to the store and you get yourself a bouncy ball, you're not changing the color, you're not changing the diameter, and there's a very specific way that you have to change the number of times that it has been bounced, and we'll talk about that in a second. So you should only have get methods for this step. And I want to make that evidently clear, because if you create set methods for those instance variables, I will take points off, because I am explaining it right now. So keep that in mind. This is one of those instances where there are certain things that need to be exposed in a certain way that should not be changed, and you need to follow that format and get used to understanding what actually qualifies as needing to be of a particular value, of a particular value that needs get and set methods, as opposed to one or the other or both. In the 4th step, you'll have to create a method called bounce. Each time bounce is called, it should increase the number of times bounced instance variable by 1. Okay? Fairly straightforward. We just did that in the example. Much of this can be derived from the previous example. This should not really cause you too many problems. You should have a toString method, one that nicely displays the instance variable values for your bouncy ball object in a single string. And you could, the example that I give is an example. I would strongly recommend that you use this example, because the format is already here for you and you know that this is something that I will accept. However, if you want to create your own, remember that toStrings should be fairly short and sweet and to the point. They should describe the important information of your object, and I should know what values I'm looking at. Like if you have a ball that is a diameter of 2, a color of red, and a number of times bounced of 26, and you just say red 226, I have no idea what's going on. What? So keep that in mind. Make sure you are formatting this in a way that makes sense for the guidelines that I have given you here. Now, one thing that I would like to reiterate: you do not need a main method for this assignment. I will not be running this assignment per se. I will simply be looking to make sure that you can create a class and do it well. The next assignment will be dependent on your completion of this assignment, as I said before. And in that assignment, you will actually perform a particular set of tasks with the Bouncy Ball class. But as of now, I am only concerned with whether or not you can actually create the class, not whether or not you can make a program that uses it. Because obviously, for much of these classes, you've been interacting with Scanner and some with ArrayList, so you already know how to create new versions of objects based on a class and use them. I'm not interested in seeing that as of this point. I want to see you create a class and turn it into me. No main class, no main method. I don't want to see it. We will get to that point for the next class. That being said, obviously because you have no main method, there is no requirement for you to do your signature block this time around. If you would like to put your signature block in the top comments of your class, that is fine. I don't care. You will not lose points for not having it in the comments. It is up to you. You will be required to use it in the next 2 classes and in classes for the next book, the next set of classes. So just keep that in mind. This is not your signature block is done and over with. This is this one assignment. It doesn't really fit anywhere. But that being said, take your time with this. Make sure you do it right. Make sure you put comments. And no reason for this program to be runnable. I will, if I need to run it, I will create the stuff needed to run it based on the comments that you make and how your class is structured. Okay?